Wala palang boses yung ano, live ko. Sorry po, walang boses. Naka-off, ano pala, mic. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Naka-off mic pala. Sorry po, sorry. Thank you so much, Ma'am Amy. Honey Sweet, thank you so much. Honey Sweet. Parang kilala ko yan si Honey Sweet na yan. Naka-download na ba? Download. It's already download. User installer system, zip. Windows. Tama ba ito? Download ko dito. Visual Code User Setup. Ma'am Jules, playing dito, Ma'am Jules. Iba-background ko yung music mo, Ma'am Jules. Saan na yun? Sit up na ba ito? Buksan mo, papasakin ko na. Thanks for pin. Welcome po, Ma'am Amy. or designed for PC using Windows software. This is not compatible with your device which runs Chrome. About opening files. Oh, di pala pwede. Bakit ganon? Lina OFW, mega love shout out. Lina plus one banana. Thank you so much, Ma'am Lina. Watching here, Ma'am Lina. Show folder. Not compatible man eh. Bakit not compatible siya? Oh, this is not good. This is not good. Not compatible. Your download Visual Code should start shortly. Ayaw, ayaw. Bakit ayaw? Meron ako extension. Asan na extension ko? Mag-download na lang ako, Visual Studio. Nabawasan. Visual Code Editor for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Is okay ba ito? Wait lang. Tingnan ko dito kung ano mas maganda. Ay! May bayad. May bayad. Complier IDE. Ano ba yun? Bumabangon pa rin. Ito ako. Sang basa sa ulan. Kung mainit na nabawasan. Visual Code Editor. Auto Live Manual Updated. Parang mas maganda to. 100K. Ito ako. Sang pasasalan. 3.6. 3.6. 6.5. Parang mas maganda. Kung mainit. Sino po naka-play? Mm. Pala updated. Mamayla, thank you so much, Mamayla. Na busy yung person. Next spin tayo, next spin. Next spin. It's a good thing you got in. Nag-English man yung kuandre. Translate. Julina Vlog, mega love shout out. Play ako dito. Nagpe-play ako kay Ma'am Julina. Naka-premiere ka, Mamayla? Kasi ko nga dito. Ah, may bayad pala to. No, I don't want this. May bayad. Okay. Across the sky. Meriwether sun. Visual Studio. Whatever script you Pang cellphone lang pala to. Hindi habang across the sky. Across the sky. Beat and Sibugay, may galap shout out. Thank you so much, Ben. Still playing side dito, Ben. Kumusta yung WH mo, Ben? Umaakyat ba? Or bumaba ba? 1 p.m. 30 minutes pa yung ano ni Mama Myla, premiere. Play na lang ako dito sa ano. Index.html.
This year, take the time to melt into your special moments with Lindor.
Kumusta ang WH, Ben? Ilan lang kulang mo?
Irresistibly smooth chocolate from the Lind Master Chocolatier.
Hello world and hello world. Ilan ang kulang WH mo, Ben? Run. Wala mo dito. I'm slow. Naka-off naman tong language. Bakit nag-ano siya? 2.6 more. Sige, okay lang yan. Nag-non-stop play ako dito, dalawa. Tapos, mag-live ka din. Ma'am Julina, playing side dito, Ma'am Julina. Di kasi
it up, and you'll end up with something like this. Visual Studio Code right here. You'll probably see a welcome screen that looks like this. Now I want you to install one thing once you get it open. I want you to click over here onto this square button, and you can install all these great extensions for free from the marketplace. And the one that we're most interested in right now. So let's make a project new, or you can just have it. We created the sneaky here, just hit exclamation mark and then hit tab. And boom, don't freak out. This looks like a lot of code, but it's actually not.
That's how is it in live English so good to ninja and what.
What you want to do is go
Salamat StarMix. Welcome po. Bakit naka-off na translate dito? Translate pa rin. Lacking. Ma'am Jules, thank you so much. That's how it's already. Naka-English na.
Once you've saved your page, right-click and click Open with Live Server. You should have this because you created your live server, or you installed live server. So now you can see I've got this live server that I created on my machine instead of a website, and it's going to index.html, and there's my website. Hi. What I can do now is I can kind of create a layout here by dragging my two windows so I can see them both at once. And if I change this, maybe add an exclamation mark and hit save, it automatically reloads. That's because my live server is doing something called live reloading, where whenever my website changes, I get to see that change right away. It's a great development experience. So I can say hello world, It's saved, and my website is updated. So there you go. We've created your first website. You don't really understand any of this. This is called HTML, and it's the first thing a web developer learns. And so in the next video, we're going to get into learning HTML, and we're going to add to that CSS and JavaScript. And once you learn all three of those things, you are a web developer. So let's get into that next HTML video.
Why the host is already English? Iwan ko dito, Ma'am Jules. Naka-off, in-off ko na yung itong translate, tapos hindi pa nagbago. Mag-English lang tayo doon eh. Ma'am Jolina, thank you so much, Ma'am Jolina. Playing here, Ma'am Jolina.
In this video, we are going to learn HTML for new developers. Now, if you missed my last video, which is how to set up Visual Studio Code in a professional coding environment and workspace, you definitely want to watch that. That link is in the description. Go ahead and watch that and come back to here. In this video, we're going to learn HTML, which is the content for the web. I'm going to go ahead and close this real quick. I can click on this folder thing and get rid of all those files, so I have a little more screen to work with. But if you think about a website, it's got content and it's got look and feel to it. So the content would be the words on the page, any images on the page, any buttons on the page. And those words, images, and buttons could look 1,000 different ways with 1,000 different colors. So HTML is what puts the content on the page. And it's ugly. You can tell that this is ugly. I don't even have a font that's being chosen for me, let alone a font size and a font color or a background color. That's because I'm just using HTML right now. I'm just adding content to my page. After that, we'll get into CSS, which is cascading style sheets. CSS would say, give me a gray background with blue text and a button with rounded rectangle corners on it. And let's make this image small and, I don't know, let's make it shake when you hover over it. Things like that. That's CSS. And so when people learn HTML and CSS together, they can build a full website. And then JavaScript is what a developer will learn to add functionality to that website, where you can maybe post a tweet to Twitter and things like that. That's all functionality. That's JavaScript. So those three technologies make a web developer's toolkit. Now, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to learn HTML. And HTML is the easiest piece of all three. You can really learn it in a day or even an hour because all you have to do is memorize a few words. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take away all this code, and I'm going to leave that top one there because that's the one that says, hey, it's an HTML web page. Everything in HTML is considered a tag. A tag looks like this, a greater than symbol. The tag name, we'll call this HTML. And then any attributes, I'll get to attributes in a second.
It's on the left side button, click.
You see when I type that less than symbol?
Ito nga, Ma'am Jules, inaano ko, di ba yung parang settings na ano siya? Automatic chat translation. Tapos in-off ko naman siya. Ganun pa rin.
And the closing tag is considered inside of the tag. So
Hayaan mo na lang, ma-English na tayo.
this is now inside of my HTML tag. That's how it works. You can have tags inside of tags. I could have a body inside of the HTML tag. And then I could have other tags inside of that. You can have as many tags inside of as many tags as you want. It's all just tags. Tags can be two things. They can have an opening, closing, or if there's nothing inside of them, they can be what's called self-closing, which you add a slash to the end of it. And a good example of this would be an image. An image is the IMG tag. An image doesn't have text inside of it or any of that. It loads an image from a web server and spits it out on the page. So we don't have to have an opening and closing tag. It can be self-closing. And then we define things. How does that image know which image we're pulling from the internet? We're going to use what's called attributes for that. So a tag can have one or more attributes. To do an attribute, you do a space after the tag name, and you give it an attribute. Let's say it has a width. Width equals 300. And so you do
Hacker Lover, we love shout out. Thank you so much, Hacker.
quotes, and then whatever's inside of that is considered the attribute. So think of it as a person, right?
Visit ako sa'yo dito, Hacker.
Let's say this was called Frank, and Frank has a height. Well, he could have a width too. There's attributes about Frank, right? As a person, he's got a certain height and he's got a certain intelligence. These are things that are qualities about Frank. Intelligence high. And so that's kind of how tags and attributes work. The tag is what the thing is. The attributes describe
+1 banana sa'yo,
that
Hakira.
tag. So in this case, we have
Tamsao dito
it's
sa
an
ano,
image,
upcoming mo. Tapos,
and you might have a height, a width, and a source, which is where that image comes from. That is all of HTML. We just covered all of HTML right here. Tags with tag
reply ako
names
dito
and
sa ano mo.
attributes. That's it. From here on out,
Latest
you just have to
upload.
memorize a few tag names and a few attributes, and you have all of HTML done. So let's get into some of these common tag names. There's really three categories that give you everything you need to start off. To build an HTML web page, you have to have three tags to start off. You have to have an HTML tag. Again, I'm just typing HTML and hitting tab here, and Visual Studio Code is doing the rest. So really, all you do have to do is memorize some words. So I'm doing an HTML tag. Inside of that, I'm going to do a head tag. And then I'm also going to do a body tag. Those are the three tags that it takes to build a web page. You notice that head and body are both inside of HTML. That's extremely important. Now, HTML doesn't care about white space at all. So these could be like this. These could be like that. It doesn't really matter. None of that matters. It only matters to you, the developer. We like to keep them indented in such a way where it's easy to see what's inside of what. So that's what the indentions are all about. And I indent using tab. So you can go tab, and then you can also select one or more things and do shift tab or tab, and things will move around indention wise. So that's what those indentions are all about. In our head tag, we'll add one title tag here, and let's say my page. And let's add an exclamation mark because we're feeling chirpy today. So there we go. You can see up here at the top, if you can see it because it's really little, it says my page exclamation mark. In the body, let's add our hello world back. And then that is our web page. So we've got our body. Our body is everything that the user sees in this main body of the web page. So all of the rest of our tags are going to go in here. And so that is your basic three tags.
It's look like you just woke up.
Body and a title tag.
Yes, I just woke up.
Pretty much everybody wants to do it.
Tingnan.
So now let's look at how you style text. Text comes with H1.
I just woke up, lover hacker.
Text, which is a header. There you go. Wow, that's really big. I'm kind of zoomed in here to make it easier, but wow, that H1 is big. And then you can go all the way down to H6, my subtitle. So you notice that H2 is by default a little smaller. The default CSS for
My
H1 is going to be
page.
huge, and H2 is going to be smaller and smaller still. All the way down to H6, I'll do an H6 here, which is even smaller. So the H6 is even smaller then. And what these are used for is these are used for telling Google, if you want it to rank, your page to rank on Google and all of the web browsers and everything, what the most important pieces of your page are. So Google's going to look at your page and it's going to say, oh, the H1, that's the title for the whole page. H2, these are section subtitles. So any content blocks within your page will be H2s. And farther down, if an H2 has multiple content blocks in that, those will all be H3s. That's what we use those tags for. CSS could make this one huge and make this one tiny. So it doesn't necessarily relate to size. It more relates to
My page, my
importance.
subtitle.
So those are our H1, H2. Those are our header tags. And then there's a P tag, which is for a paragraph. Hi, I'm a paragraph of text. So there's my paragraph of text. And if I do multiple ones of these, then you'll notice that each one kind of has a space in between it, just like you would expect a paragraph to do. Default CSS is going to add a space below each paragraph. And so that's how paragraphs work. Now, you'll remember I mentioned that HTML does not care about white space. So if I do a ton of spaces here, it doesn't change. When I save it, nothing is different. If I had 1 million returns here, actually I got a slash, so we'll get rid of that slash. If I had 1 million returns, nothing changes. HTML does not care about spaces past 1. The first space works because you really couldn't type anything without a space. But that's kind of how HTML works. It doesn't care about white space. White space is
BGBG. Thank you so much, BGBG. Lover hacker, thank you so much sa pag-BG.
if I wanted to add a line break like that. Well,
Baka busy ka dyan, Ma'am BG. Okay lang po.
BR. And it's a self-closing tag because it doesn't have any content in it. And you can see there we go. We have an actual line break, a return, an enter key.
Busy-busy rin ako dito.
So that's a tag you want to know as well.
Nirefresh ko yung napag-aralan ko noon.
You can Strong is basically what you use for bold. If you're looking at really old web pages, you may see a B tag floating around, which does the same thing, but that shouldn't be used anymore. Strong is what you should use for bold now. And then EM is what you use for emphasis, which is italics. You can see there we go, italics. So those are the tags that we use for bold and italics, strong and EM. And we're actually getting a lot of the way through this list. So if you feel overwhelmed, just remember, we only have about 12 words we have to memorize. HTML, head, title, body, P, strong EM, and then we also covered our header tags. And you're almost through basic HTML with just those words. Here's a fun one. There's buttons. I'm a button. There we go. We have a button. Looks like I got a typo in there somewhere yet. Got an extra little piece.
Button.
We have a button there. No style to it, but there's a button on the page. And the button also doesn't do anything because we don't have any JavaScript or anything telling the button what to do. But hey, the button is there all the same. So that's all of our text tags. I'm going to show you 2 more tags, and then we're done with basic HTML. We can actually start learning basic CSS from here on out. So let's go and add a list tag. These are actually really important. So if I go li and say I'm an item, you can see I kind of have a bulleted list right there. Yep, I have a bulleted list. And if I have multiple items, I can either lay them out like that, or I should...
Busy nga, just hanging out, ironing load. Okay, sige po.
And now I have to select this and cut it and paste it because I did it in a weird order. And you learn to get really good at those kind of things as a web developer. So I have a UL tag with multiple li tags.
Nag-aral din ako dito, Labor Hacker. Kasi gusto kong i-refresh yung napag-aralan. Kasi na.
Navigation on your page. You will define a list of things and then use CSS to lay them out as a navigation. You can also change this to OL, and you'll make it an ordered list, which is not very useful. You don't do this as often in HTML, but you can see as soon as I changed it to OL, I got number
Dito
1,
na ako sa
CSS. But usually, in this video, we are going to start learning CSS along with our HTML. Now, if you got here and you haven't seen my last 2 videos about how to set up this professional web environment with a live reloading server, you're going to want to watch those. Those are in the description. So let's move forward here. CSS, again, stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So I made this basic web page here, but it has no style. It's just all default text, default layout.
Oh, hi.
So it looks very big and it's easy.
3M Vlog, Mega Love, shout out. Yan tanan jacket 3M Lab. 3M Vlog. Thank you so much, 3M.
HTML is a tag. So there's 2 tags we can use to get CSS style on our page. We can use a style tag, which will add CSS right here in the HTML document, right here in this index.html file.
3M plus 1 banana dito, 3M.
Is the link tag. The link tag allows us to move that CSS out.
Watch niya ako dito sa short TikTok, FYI.
What's good about that is then any HTML page can bring that file in. So you can share all your styles across a bunch of different web pages. And that's what we want to do almost all of the time. But for now, to keep it easy, we're just going to add a style tag here. So now anything inside of this tag is not HTML. It's going to be CSS. So we're going to get in here. We're going to add what's called our first CSS rule. A rule consists of 3 things. A selector, and then you're going to do what's called curly braces. That's these funny little things right here, which you pretty much only use in coding. And then you have a property, and you have a value. And you can have a bunch of properties and values. Property 2, which there's no such thing as these, by the way, and give it another value. And then each thing is separated by a colon between property and value and a semicolon. That's probably the weirdest thing there when you're learning CSS is you're using these characters that you're not used to using all that often. The curly braces, and then the colon and semicolon. So now that we know this is all CSS is, selectors with properties and values, we just have to know how to use them. Selectors are pretty easy. Just pick which element you want to target. So this is called targeting as well. I'm going to target every H1 on my page, and I'm going to start changing properties with different values. One property would be, hey, what color is that font? Right now it's by default black. Let's change that to red. You can actually use named colors for popular colors. You can see when I hit save, I now have a red H1. Let's copy this and make our H2 a different color. Let's add another rule. Let's get a new selector here. And let's change that from red. And instead of typing color, I can actually hover over it. Actually use my color picker. You can see I'm picking an RGB color now. Let's pick something a little bit more, I don't know, brown. Doesn't really matter. Let's go gray. Gray is nice. I think, there we go. Got gray. Hit save. And now my H2 is grayed out. So that's going to be how you add rules. That's CSS right there in a nutshell. Selectors, properties, and values. I can change several properties on here. I can change the opacity to 0.5 and hit save. And now it becomes a little transparent, which just looks like a lighter gray. But if I had a background image on this web page, then I would be slightly transparent. So you can see I can add multiple rules there. And that's how you do that in CSS. So let's start changing some rules on our page here. Let's give our body a background color with background. So the body doesn't actually have a color to it because there's no text. It is a background property. Let's just go black so I can get a color picker here. And then I'll make it like a dark, trendy gray. Let's go ahead and save that. It's still a little too dark here. Let's change that a little bit more. Hover over that, get my color picker. There we go. So that's my page. Let's make this a less menacing color than red. How about something like a nice cheery blue? There we go. And then let's just make this a lighter color gray to stand out on that dark gray.
No. Focus. Mali na noon, title, body. Head, email, head, tapos. Ay, naku. Inubos na naman. Tapos, body title. Style. Style mo dito. Saan lang yung style sa atas ng head? Sis Junila Danyo Dikit. 3.4 Pamela Dan watching Sis Julina. Thank you so much, Hacker Lover. Thank you so much, Grace. Watching dito sa'yo, Grace. Grace ba? Lahat ito. Okay. Style. Taas nito. Page. Title. Style grid. Nag-grid lang yun. Style. Mali. Sa taas ng ano. Okay. Body background. Tapos, background. ABC. RGB. Five eight. It's one. Cool. Background. Simple. RGB. Top 5. Gusto.
Go, and then let's just make this a lighter color gray to stand out on that dark gray background. There we go. Let's also give this thing a font, because that font is killing me right now. So let's go font. And you can see, oh wow, CSS kind of helps me out here. It gives me font family, font display. It helps me see all these different things. I can just go font dash family, and then I can go Helvetica New. Look, it even tells me, hey, it looks like you're doing this rule here. That's kind of a popular rule. Arial, comma, Helvetica, comma, sans serif. I'll show you what that means here.
Helvetica.
Wow, that's looking much nicer. So what I've done here on the font family is I've
158.
added multiple fonts because it
Helvetica Neve. Helvetica Arial. Welcome. Jolina, Colin Dan, now dikit. Ma'am, is Ma'am Colin? New youngest of the new ATM card. New youngest. Ma'am Colin, thank you so much. Nandyan ka pala, Ma'am Colin. Nag-premiere na si Ma'am Myla. Start na yung premiere niya. Sige. Start ko na dito, Ma'am Myla. Oo. Bagal ng net. Bumagal na naman yung net. Si Ma'am Mayla, naka-premier si Ma'am Mayla. Sana to si Guwapa. Ma'am Jonah, mega love shout out Ma'am Jonah. Please read my PM. Ano bang PM niyo? May PM ka Ma'am Mayla? Tingnan ko, wait lang. I did not see your PM. Mauna karon ang live do English na adto ka magtan-aw sa ninja na adto ang original live chat. Tingnan ko nga, asa yung trabaho natin. Ayan, nag-ano na, okay na pala.
It's because I don't know exactly what fonts the user's computer is going to have installed. If I pick a font on my computer, that doesn't guarantee everybody else is going to have it. Now, these are some popular ones. Helvetica, those are Mac fonts. Arial is kind of the same version of that, only not quite as good, that Windows machines pretty much all have. And then sans serif. So there's some ways you can get around the font problem, which we'll get into in future videos, and make sure that the font you want is available for every user. But for now, you pick a font family that you know is going to be popular on almost everybody's computer. Just please don't pick Comic Sans. Please do not ever pick Comic Sans. So there you go, I've made my font family, and I'm going to zoom this back out. That's actually what my web page looks like, but it's pretty small on that screen, so I'm going to zoom back in here. Also, I want my default color for my text to kind of be white, because I don't want to have to change every paragraph in my whole web page. So let's go color white. There we go, so now my default color is white. Let's go and target that button and kind of change the background color of that button. Let's make that gray. And you see I've got my background color there, and let's give it a border of none. And now I have no border. That's excellent. And I also want to change the color on that as well to, I don't know, white. So now you can see I'm kind of styling my web page. I can also give this H1 a background color. Let's make this black. So a really dark black background for my H1. And that's kind of how we build the look and feel of a web page. That's using CSS rules. So from here, I'm going to give you one piece of homework, and then we're going to start building out an actual web page. From here on out, we're going to learn by building a complete website. The homework is, I want you to Google, because the number one skill you're going to learn as a web developer is how to Google and find an answer on your own. I want you to Google and find out how to give this rounded corners with CSS. I want you to find out how to make these corners rounded rectangle. So go ahead and do your homework, find out what CSS rule it takes to make these corners rounded rectangles, and let's start building out a whole website. Hey everybody, this is going to be an upgrade to one of my most popular videos of all time. It has over 500,000 views, and it's the question I get asked absolutely the most by new beginners, and that is, hey, I just finished this sweet new website. How do I make it an actual website? I've got my HTML and CSS files and stuff, but I actually want to turn it into myawesomesite.com. How do I do that? Is there cost associated with that? And what is the easiest, fastest, cheapest, best path for me? So the short answer is that there's no one answer to it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And as your skill level grows, you may actually choose some different methods. As you learn GitHub and as you learn other things, there's a variety of methods out there. But if you're starting off and you're an HTML, CSS developer, the absolute easiest way to go is to get a shared hosting server, buy a domain name through a separate domain name registrar. So that way, instead of 127.0.0.1, you have myawesomedomain.com. And then you're going to get a web server, a web hosting plan. A web server is a computer that lives on the internet. It's constantly online, and you're going to put your HTML and CSS files on that server. They're going to point your domain name to that server, and then ta-da, you have a website. And if you ever want to move the server somewhere else, you have your domain separate. You can set up a different server and point your domain to the new server. That's why it's very important to keep them separate. It makes that a lot simpler. So we're going to go through that on this video. We're going to try to do it in record time, give all the steps so you can actually see me buy an actual domain, buy an actual hosting plan, and then connect the two, and you are done. I'll also mention that I have links to these two places I'm going to recommend in the description. If you use those links, you will support this channel. So they are affiliate links. However, it's very important for me to mention that I will never, ever, ever recommend something that I don't fully believe is the best solution for the developers I'm recommending it to. So I would never, ever give a false recommendation in order to get support for the channel or anything like that. So I'm on iwantmyname.com. This is my favorite place. This is where I keep my domains, my absolute favorite place for domains to live. It's super easy. They give you domain privacy for free, which is my favorite thing about them. So yeah, you just start off by searching for a domain. Let's say myawesomewebsite.com. Nope, not .zone. How about .com? There you go. Myawesomewebsite.com is available. Let's buy this thing. Wait, nope, it's taken. Myawesomnewwebsite.com. See if you got that one. The internet's got that one available for me. Let's buy it. Let's go ahead and check out myawesomnewwebsite.com. You can see that it's going to cost $14. I'll go back real quick. Some of these newer domains might be as expensive as $70 or $100. So the .coms are the cheapest, but the hardest to get exactly what you want as well. I can also say that .coms tend to do a little bit better in search engine optimization. So that is something to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and check out, and then I'll enter my credit card address and go through all this. I'll skip that for you. I'll see you at the next step. Okay, boom. I filled out all my credit card information. I bought myawesomnewwebsite.com. You can see it on my dashboard. I can go and click on that, and the most important thing that I can do is I can change my name servers down here. Now, I have to buy web hosting first. I'm going to get some web hosting, and then I'm going to point these name servers to the web hosting. Also, you can see that they got privacy enabled by default, which is, well, I think a little server one. Hey, in this video, we are going to continue web development for absolute beginners, for people who know nothing. If you have not seen the prior 3 videos, I'll put the link in the description to this whole series, and you'll want to watch that first. But let's move forward. So the first skill you're going to need as a web developer is the ability to build a layout, to basically look at a design, a graphic design of what a website should look like, and then turn that into code. So let's learn how you do that. We're also going to introduce a few new tags along the way. So basically the tags that we're going to use in this video are div tags. Div just means divider. I'll show you what that is here. Let's add a bunch of div tags. Let's do A, B, C, does that sometimes, and D. Gonna save that. You can see the
Head tapos body. Head tapos body. Sa body? Ah, okay. Divider as a divider.
Sometimes AI-generated text or even our own writing, when you're trying to sound formal, can come across as stiff or robotic. That's where the humanizer comes in. Once you really nothing special about a div tag. It just content.
Salamat, Ma'am Jols. Thank you so much, Ma'am Jols.
And a div tag actually is this box that spans as much space as it has from left to right, which is why they're stacking one on top of the other and not left to right. Because a div tag by default gets what's called a block display. So it's going to fill out the whole content left to right, and then the next div tag by default goes below it. Now with CSS we can change all that, but that's what a div tag is. So basically every little content block of your web page is a div tag. But after a while, developers realized, wow, if you go to the source code of a web page and just see millions of div tags, it's not very easy to read and understand what's going on. So we introduced what are called semantic tags. They're all basically div tags, but they have different names to allow us to read a web page easier as we're building it. So these tags are a header tag, which you guessed it, is usually used for adding a header of a website. Other tags are nav, section, footer. All these tags are divs, but they allow us to
Footer,
describe our
okay.
web page in a way that's much easier to read, and also a way that's much easier for search engines like Google to understand what areas of content mean. So these are called, again, semantic tags, which means they're a lot easier to read. So we're going to use div tags, we're going to use semantic tags, and we're also going to use those good old UL tags with the LI tags inside of it. You use that a lot in web development for your layout. But that's pretty much it when you're building layouts. Those are the tags that you use. So let's get into what a layout is and how you know which tags to use where. I'm going to go to a screenshot of Bing.com here. So here's Bing.com, and I'm going to pull up some boxes that I drew around. If I had to turn this into a design, if you got given this screenshot and said, hey, build me a web page that is laid out like this, how would you do it? So if I had to build this layout, I'd start off with two tags.
Ah,
A header
hacker
tag,
lover.
which is this whole big piece up here, this whole top part. And then I do a section tag down here. That
Big.
includes all this down
Ah,
So you
na
have
ano
a
na
tag
yan.
at the very top level, right inside of the body tag, that all the rest of the content will go into. Inside of the header tag,
Kakaibag na
navigation
kakaano.
tag that would house the navigation. This right here would be a UL full of LIs for each link. So this is an unordered list, a UL, and then there's an LI, an LI, an LI, LI, and so on. And over here, I'd probably do 3 div tags: a div here, a div here, and then a div here for the mobile menu kind of button. So that's the tags that you would use. Then here I would just have a div tag for this, and then here I would have a UL tag with a bunch of LIs in it. Because again, if you look at all these, they're really just a bunch of, it's an unordered list of items. They just have different backgrounds and different text titles, but they're really all the same thing. So that's the tags that I would use. Navigation, probably a big background navigation. And then we're going to have 2 sections and a footer. Section 1 will have 3 equal boxes. Section 2 will just be one big section. I don't know what we'll put in there, maybe some text or something. And then our footer section down here. And that's going to be our website. So you can see it's really not going to be a whole lot of tags to make the layout component of our design. So let's go over to our code. So the first thing we're going to want to do is create a header tag. There's our header tag, and we want to create 2 section tags. Again, I'm just typing the tag name and hitting tab. Another thing I can do is I can do section *2, and I just got 2 sections. So I'll call this triple section, because if you remember, I actually have 3 squares inside of there later on. Lower section, there we go. And then let's make a footer tag. Footer. And we'll just add header here.
Ano yun?
So there
Sinabi.
you have it. That
Body. Shuffle. Okay.
is our layouts, and as you can see, they act just like divs. There's really no style here at all. So let's add a little bit of style. When I'm building a layout, the easiest way to start is to add background colors to every piece. So I'm going to add a header style here. Let's make this background color black. There we go. And then let's do section. This background color will be white. And the font color then will probably need to become something else. So let's make color gray for now. Sure, that works. And let's make the footer. It's going to have a background color black as well. So there's our basic section.
Wait. There's an header. Header background. Like black. Section is white. Okay. Green.
Finish up this video by learning about how to add spacing
Ano ba yun sa style? Body? Body, tapos header. Style. Mata, mega love shout out. Namaste, Mata. Thank you so much. Welcome po, Mata. How are you, Mata? Mata, +1 banana, Mata. Mata, +1 banana. Thank you so much, Mata. Ba't ayaw mag-work tong ginawa ko? Ano ba yan? Nag-header footer na siya eh. Baka kailangan to ilipat. Body. Style. Anong mali dito? Basta yun na yan. Kailangan pala isulat doon. Okay, no problem. I put that in the body. Ayun na nga yun. Header, triple section. Footer. Nag-change na kayo sa kanya. Bakit sa akin wala? Wait lang. Baka mali yung ginawa ko. Background. Black. Section. kasi nag-jeans. Okay, okay. Wait lang. Sa body kasi, banda. Okay. Tama. Header. Sa body. Okay. Tapos, alagay doon section. Lobat ko. Ay. StarMix, what are your name on FB? Do you have PM for you? Okay, Khalil. Ay, pakita ko na lang. Wait. Ha? Tapos na premium mamayla? Kay ano pala, kay Mata. Pakita ko sa iyo FB ko Ito yung FB ko. Nice. I will see for it. Nag-change na siya, nag-change. Footer, sa footer pa pala. Wala pang footer. Great. Ay. Ben, ito yung Facebook ko, Ben. Ito. Sige, type ko na lang. Yung profile ko is ano yan. Mata, thank you so much, Mata. I do have PM to you, for you. Sige, no problem. PM ka sa akin, Ben. No problem. Yang FB ko na yan. Okay, okay. Wait lang. Iyaano ko pala to. Di kasi makapi. Baguhin ko na lang pala to. Paano ba to kapihin? Ay, mali. Nawala tuloy. Oh. Risa Mix, mega love shout out Risa Mix. Thank you so much Risa Mix. +1 banana Risa Mix. Thank you so much.
This is Jules Vlog. Subscribe na!
Okay, done playing Ma'am Jules. Next tayo, next. Tapos na playing Ma'am Jules. Thank you so much Ma'am Jules. Ayun. Bakit naging ganito? Wait lang, anong nangyari? Header, wala pala ito, wala yan. Header, wala yan. Tayo lang. Shoop, 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 shoop! Mag-stop ka na. Okay. Tignan natin. Ay, wala. Bakit ganito? Anong nangyari? Ano nangyari kanina? Ano ba yung tinanggal ko na ayaw na lumabas? Yung color. It's 1, it's 2. Ay, ito yata yun. Wait, tingnan natin kung lalabas siya. Hindi pa rin. Yung color. Okay, okay. It's 1. Ganito. Style.
Ano ba yung in-upload mo kanina? Nag-pop up kasi. Tapos wala namang premiere. Ano ba yun, sir? Video o upload?
Wala tuloy. Easy. See.
Hi there, my name is Will Stern, and I've been a professional web what professionals see. All you want to create your very first. In this video, we are going to learn HTML for new development. So in this case, we have all the way down to H6. Default CSS is being a really old web device. I'm going to show you 2 more tags, and then we're done with basic. In this video, we are going to. One property would be hover over that, get my color picker. Only not quite as good. That Windows machines pretty much all have.
Uwi na ito sa amin, barangay. Ito po yung aming barangay. Ito po ako nakatip. Nang ilang years na.
Body. Asa na yun? Style. Ito ba yun? Yun na nga yun. Body. Tapos, kuha na.
Dito nyo ako hanap natin kung baka sakaling pupunta kayo sa Bulacan.
Ano pala to? Tama ba? Sukan tapos. Good. Very good. Very good. Tapos dito tayo sa layout. Dito sa layout.
Hey everybody, this is going to be an upgrade to one of my most popular videos of all time. It has over 500,000 views. And it's the question I get asked absolutely the most by new beginners, and that is, hey, I just finished this sweet new website. How do I make it an actual website? I've got
Risa Remix,
HTML,
mega love shout out. Thank you so much, Risa
I
Remix.
actually want to turn it into myawesomesite.com. How do I do that? Is there cost associated with that? And what is the easiest, fastest, cheapest?
Mami Juna, thank you so much, Mami
So the
Juna.
short answer is there is no one answer to it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And as your skill level grows, you may actually choose some different methods. Like as you learn GitHub and as you learn other things, there's a variety of methods out there. But if you're starting off and you're an HTML, CSS developer, the absolute easiest way to go is to get a shared hosting server, buy a domain name through a separate domain name registrar. So that way, instead of 127.0.0.1, you have myawesomedomain.com. And then you're going to get a web server, a web hosting plan. The web server is a computer that lives on the internet that's constantly online, and you're going to put your HTML and CSS files on that server. And then you're going to point your domain name to that server, and then ta-da, you have a website. And if you ever want to move this server somewhere else, you have your domain separate. You can set up a different server and point your domain to the new server. That's why it's very important to keep them separate. Makes that a lot simpler. So we're going to go through that on this video. We're going to try to do it in record time, get all the steps so you can actually see me buy an actual domain, buy an actual hosting plan, and then connect the two, and you are done. I'll also mention that I have links to these 2 places I'm going to recommend in the description. If you use those links, you will support this channel. So they are affiliate links. However, it's very important for me to mention that I will never edit and a little bit better in search engine optimization. HTTP 12 months. Stop. Hey, in this video, we are going to continue web development for absolute beginners, for people who know nothing. If you have not seen the prior 3 videos, I'll put the link in the description to this whole series, and you'll want to watch that first. But let's
Bayagisan is gone. Why?
Web developer is the ability to build a layout, to
Kapitana,
look at a design, a
Who's youngest son?
website should look like, and then turn that into code. So let's learn.
Kapitana.
We're also going to introduce a few new tags along the way. So basically, the tags that we're going to use in this
Who is Gun Kapitana? Sino nawala?
I'll show you what that is here. Let's add
Chat message on your device language.
Let's do A,
Ano yung klase nito? Ano?
C,
Kumusta, Kapitana?
and D. Gonna save that. And you can see there's really nothing special about a div tag. It just basically is a content block. It's just a divider there. And a div tag actually is this box that spans as much space as it has from left to right, which is why they're stacking one on top of the other and not left to right. Because a div tag by default gets what's called a block display. So it's going to fill out the whole content left to right, and then the next div tag by default goes below it. Now with CSS we can change all that, but that's what a div tag is. So basically every little content block of your web page is a div tag. But after a while, developers realized, wow, if you go to the source code of a web page and just see millions of div tags, it's not very easy to read and understand what's going on. So we introduced what are called semantic tags. They're all basically div tags, but they have different names to allow us to read a web page easier as we're building it. So these tags are a header tag, which you guessed it, is usually used for adding a header of a website. Other tags are nav, section, footer. All these tags are divs, but they allow us to describe our web page in a way that's much easier to read, and also a way that's much easier for search engines like Google to understand what the areas of content mean. So these are called, again, semantic tags, which means they're a lot easier to read. So we're going to use div tags, we're going to use semantic tags, and we're also going to use those good old UL tags with the LI tags inside of it. Use that a lot in web development for your layouts. But that's pretty much it when you're building layouts. Those are the tags that you use. So let's get into what a layout is and how you know which tags to use where. I'm going to go to a screenshot of bing.com here. So here's bing.com, and I'm going to pull up some boxes that I drew around. If I had to turn this into a design, if you got given this screenshot and said, hey, build me a web page that is laid out like this, how would you do it?
Okay, you're the youngest. Si Hasan. Okay. Hindi pa nga, nag-antay pa yung wala pang confirmation si YT. Pero in-apply ko na si San Moni. Nag-apply.
Inside of the header tag, I would have a nav tag that would house the navigation. This right here would be a UL full of LIs for each link. So this is an unordered list, a UL, and then there's an LI, an LI, an LI, an LI, and so on. And over here, I'd probably do 3 div tags, a div here, a div here, and then a div here for the mobile menu kind of button. So that's the tags that you would use. Then here I would just have a div tag for this. And then here I would have a UL tag with a bunch of LIs in it. Because again, if you look at all these, they're really just a bunch of, it's an unordered list of items. They just have different backgrounds and different text titles, but they're really all the same thing. So that's the tags that I would use to lay out this entire website. And then down here I would have 3 div tags as well, and I would layer them next to each other. From there on, when you have a good skill set of building layouts, all you have to learn is one bit at a time how to build the pieces of content that you want. How do I build a navigation and make links all go side by side like this? How do I build this little thing with a circle and the guy inside of it? How do I build a search bar and make it look like this? Those are all little bits of CSS that you learn along the way, and nobody knows it all, and you have to Google all the time to figure out how to do what you want to do. And that's part of the fun of being a web developer, is that you're always learning. So, the layout that we're
Opo, Kap, may pag-asa pa. May pag-asa.
Like this. We're going to have a header tag, you guessed it. Inside, we'll have a navigation and probably a big background image. And then we're
Nag-premiere ka pala 1 hour ago. I-play kita, Kap.
Section 1 will have 3.
Uy, lobat na pala ako.
Section 2 will just be one big section. I don't know what we'll put in there, maybe some text or something. And then our footer section down here. And that's going to be our website. So you can see it's really not going to be a whole lot of tags to make the layout component of our design. So let's go over to our code. So the first thing we're going to want to do is create a header tag. There's our header tag.
Lobat na ako. Kap, mag-in na po ako. Lobat na po ako. Sige, thank you. Bye-bye.
is I can do